I am live. All right, guys. Bit of a weird one. Bit of a weird one this week. It's all a bit weird. Um, Everyone's ill. I obviously have superior, whatever it's called, immune system. But yeah, Rye's not well. Aaron's not well. Andy's busy. Ben's busy, and Sam's busy. But we did have a plan for today for me, Aaron, and Rye. All the best plans. So yeah, it's a bit weird. It's just me tonight. So I won't keep you for too long, but I did think I'd come on and show you what I got this week rather than bin it off like with 10 minutes to go, because you obviously dedicate your time to this. So I thought I would as well. So yeah, I'll show you what I got this week. I'll tell you a funny story. Well, it's not that funny, but I'll tell you a story. And then yeah, if you've got anything you want to talk about, we'll talk about it. If you don't, it will be a very, very short Wednesday live chat. But first, let's say hello to people. I apologise for how bad this is going to be. I've not done this on my own before. But there we go. Joe Remix, hello, my friend. El Tender, hope you are well. Leslie, hello. Hello. Jody, hello to you. Pete, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. Hope everything is good. How's your car booting going? You've been car boots? I've not been to one since it stopped raining. It's been lazy. It's pretty much what it comes down to. Yeah. Hey Kieran, how are you, my friend? How is everyone in the chat? Andrew. Hey. Dave, how is it? How's the muscle collecting going? You got all 236 yet? No? 236? 3.5? I've got some for you down there actually, so I will get them to you at some point when I see you next. Aaron, hello buddy. Hello Darren, evening to you, sir. Kieran, say hello again since you said hello to me. Hey man, how is it? So is it Archie that's running the Son of Dad Collectibles? Yeah, how are you both anyway? I hope you're well. Jimmy, how is it, man? You up to date with the wrestling? Not sure what's going. Well, I know what's going on, but we're in for some. I haven't watched Raw yet. Oh, I need to watch Raw. That's going to be a good one because that'll be some backlash from the Bloodline thing, which is cool. Carlos, good evening, sir. Oh man, well you haven't. Yeah, we haven't got to the end of it yet, man. It might be a total. Well, it's going to be a total disaster, isn't it? I've got no one to abuse or bounce off. Is that no one to do this with? Yeah, I am lonely. It's all right. I'm surrounded by all my plastic, so we're all good. How you doing, Mugman? I'll tell you about my work day if you want. Oof. No one wants to hear about that. Tony, how are you? How are you? Look forward to seeing you again soon. Not too bad with the car boot. It's good, man. I'm glad. There's some cool stuff coming up. I see people picking up good stuff, which is both enraging and fascinating. It's good because it means stuff's still out there, but obviously enraging because I'm too lazy to go and find it myself these days. But I'm glad that other people we know are picking it up. It's all good. Birdie boy, evening. Dave the Retro Collector, how you doing, man? First time I've been able to catch live in ages because of work. So I thank you for helping me do my first Kempton a few weeks ago. Not at all. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a weird one, Kempton. It's a really good load-in. And it's a fun day. It's a chill day. And we always joke about it because it's so traditionally been a sort of train and cars and model tin kind of vibe that we're trying to, I say lift it up, that's very pretentious. We're trying to branch it out into the kind of plastic world, like more modern toys, and Russ, the guy that puts it on, is really keen for that. So every now and then when all of a sudden it's quite busy in patches, someone goes, oh, it feels like a real toy fair. It is a real toy fair. It's always been a real toy fair. We're just trying to make it more 80s and 90s as opposed to sort of 60s and 70s, but it's really cool. I like Hampton, and it's about 6 minutes from my house, which is a big bonus. How you doing, Callum? Perfect lineup. I'll tell Andy who said that. Oh, the beef is stewing. If you haven't watched Retro Ghetto's latest video, which I haven't this week, make sure you do, and also make sure you catch the the collab between Retro Ghetto and Slimehouse. So Theo and Callum, all good stuff. Always nice when nice people hang out. Which these are all good people. Part of my pickup this week is thanks to part of my pickup is all thanks to Theo. So I'll show you that in a second. Really nice of him. Not just me, my parents and my sister watch every week. Well, I apologise. You have to see my ugly mug on the big screen. Normally it's at least half or a third of the size. So just vogued, which was cool. I do my best. Well, yeah, this is going to be my best, which is going to be not good. So, but I'll give it a go. It's all good. Hey, this is the muscle count. Not as close as Dave thought to the 236, and now box sets to complete. You don't need the box sets, man. You don't need the box sets. You just need the 236 figures. Honestly, you can do it. You don't need the box sets. You do need the ring, though. You need the muscle ring, and maybe a couple of the garbage cans, but you don't need the box sets. They're just the figures anyway in sets. How you doing, Ollie? You're not late. You're bang on time. Yeah, amazing. Your figure looks amazing. I cannot wait to see the final product. If you don't follow I Made This, you're missing out. Ollie is a master of stop motion and all things making. That's not a good way of saying that, is it? But he makes things, and he's just made a new action figure based on his original concept of a figure for a music video he did a while ago for a genuinely good song. And I don't say that lightly. Really good song, really good video. But the figure, it's coming along great, mate. Got real Playmates vibes as well, especially with like the way that the weapons held and stuff. Love it. Love it. How you doing, Colin? Hats off to you, sir. Hats off to you, sir. What have you missed? Everything. I sacked Aaron. I punched Andy in the face. I kicked Rye so hard in the throat, he's never going to speak again. And I threw Ben and Sam in the sea. None of those things happened. But people are busy. And two people who are going to do this are quite ill. I sound really serious. They're not quite ill. They're just ill. But they'll be fine. They will be fine. It is nice to get different types of toys at Kempton. And a lot of people like Kempton for that very reason. That there's people that sell like Action Man and that kind of thing. So they often people have these rummage tubs, and you can find some pretty spicy accessories, and they don't really care because they're not. I've seen people with various vintage Star Wars weapons and all sorts of rarities that they've dug out the bottom of someone's rummage bins or whatever, because they're not interested now. If they're selling cars, they're like, I bought some cars and these figures came with it. Ooh, picked up all sorts. I'm pretty sure Kempton's where I think it was Aaron. Got a yak face. I think it was Aaron. Got a yak face from Kempton, which is it's pretty good. Pretty good. I had a rearrange a few weeks ago. I've moved all the non-Turtles figures into a massive cabinet here. But yeah, so I put my blurt balls up, but I haven't. Not since last week. Maybe you can just see more. Don't look too hard. It's all rubbish, isn't it? I think about getting rid of a lot of my carded stuff and just going full Lucy, but we will see. We will see. Bless you, Les. Bless us both. Bless everyone. Ollie, genuinely, I was said to Hannah, I was like, I could call Ollie. He won't want to do it because Aaron basically was too ill to do it about 15 minutes ago. So it would have been a 5-minute warning. But I appreciate it. And you got to come back on. It's an open invite, you know that. You know this. Came to the television live streams for Aaron, but he stayed for Dan. Thank you very much. And Andy, Ryan, Ben, of course, and Sam, the honorary member. Although Rye swears to this day he's not anything to do with this. He says, I'm not part of Toy Division. I said, no, you are. You are now. Steve, how is it? The story I'm going to tell involves you it's a bit creepy, isn't it? But yeah, it's basically about pre-orders and where I'm at with that situation. Who is in the chat? Who's got Hot Toys? Who's got Hot Toys? Not just Hot Toys. We use Hot Toys as a slang for 1/6. 3-0 Hot Toys sideshow. I have a 1/6 toy on order. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Dave did well at Kempton, which let him get some goodies at Sandown, and tomorrow going Leicester Vintage. Whoa, that's dangerous, but in a good way. Yeah, Leicester Vintage. I need to get up there. We're thinking about doing a trip. A few of us when Ed comes over from Belgium. So I might do a trip to Leicester around the NEC time, but we shall see. If you're, I believe Enfield Toy Fair is on this weekend, but also Chatham is on Saturday the 3rd. Make sure you get to that. Yeah, that is happening this weekend. Don't think there's anything else on this weekend. Yeah. Hold that thought, because that involves me doing a bunch of stuff. So, evening, Adam. Evening. Where's the tomato? Tomatoes on this shelf. See, what you see behind me is like 2/3 of a wall, but I've got a whole nother wall there and then a whole nother wall there. So the Mamato is up there on prime display. I love that tomato. Best thing I own, sort of. Si, hope you are well. Hope everyone's well. Vadertron, how you doing, buddy? How are you doing? Oh, my pickups aren't. They're not bountiful this week, but they are both pretty sweet. So yeah, I shall show them. We shall start in a second. I'm trying to eke some time out saying hello to people. Next toy fair. I don't actually know. I mean, the next one in the actual diary, is September, which is Sandown. But definitely, I'm sure there'll be a Nebworth. The next I can't do June, but August Nebworth there'll probably be Chatham's. Yeah, we'll see what comes up. The next one I've got is Sandown in September. But me and Rye I think I might have said this the other week. Me and Rye are throwing an idea around of doing like a live claim sale. But I have to make it funny, otherwise it's just boring. Claim sales I find not boring, but there's other people that do better claim sales. So I want to do a special lowball one where you have to like lowball me, but it has to be like a real sweet spot of I need to respect the lowball, but it also needs to be like fairly, you can't give me 10 quid for a £200 like figure, but you could offer me like £100 and I'd go respect to the lowball. So we'll see. So the next toy fair is probably going to be online if I can be bothered to organise it, which is just so like, you know me. Do you know me? I don't know. Hey, Dave Vic, I hope you are well. I hope everything is good. I was going to say, if you don't follow the Girl Strikes Back, but of course everyone here follows the Girl Strikes Back. And if you don't, make sure you do. Do some more content, Vic. More content, more YouTube stuff. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you again soon. Yes, I saw Leicester Village are doing another claim. I mean, they do many claim sales, but this one looks like an absolute monster. There's about 200 lots, I think. So if you like Action Force and that kind of jazz, they do it like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is okay, I guess, for people like me that sit on meetings and have 2 computers, but not so good if you're actually out doing proper work. Yeah. Do I do proper work? Maybe. The Robo Skull. Okay, that's weird, isn't it? This back to front thing. Dude, I've got a mobile command center sitting there with your name on it. I've literally written your name on it. So yeah, that's how it is. Hey, doing, Jason? 43 watching and 8 likes. That's all right. I'll take it. That's good. That's good odds. That's good stats. I could do it. Look at this. Look at these ideas. I could do a room tour. No one wants to see this though. It's all boring. I need to do it. I should do a proper room tour. I thought it'd be quite funny because basically I could show you every single thing I've got and I could talk about it, and by then you'd wonder why I have anything, because I'll just be like, don't know why I got this, don't even like it, even though I like quite a lot of it. It's just funny though, isn't it? Hey, doing, Paul? Rye's not very well, Aaron's not very well, Andy's got some business to take care of, and Ben and Sam are both busy. But it was set for me. This sounds like I've planned this, but I haven't. It was set for me, Rye, and Aaron. But Rye's not been well overnight and tried to muscle through it, but he's just not well enough. And then Aaron seems to have got sick at work. There we go. Last week, great. Yeah. That's what me and Rye are looking into it as to when sort of suits us best. But he's obviously got more restrictions on his life than I do. What with him having a living human being to take care of. There we go. Look at that. Colin's right in there. Colin tweeting and selling. Man, I'm thinking about selling maybe some Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Maybe my FOM gym stuff, them Toxies there, maybe the Mars Attacks, maybe, I don't know, man. Like I just like the loose stuff. And if I've got it loose, do I need it carded? I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. I'll let you know first. Of course I will. Of course, I will let you know first. Fair enough. Everyone needs a rest. You're all going to need a rest after this. This is going to wind you up, me blathering on. But let's do it. Here we go. So this week, I've only really got two things, but I like both of them. And one of them, so you might have, well, if you watch this, you heard us talking about Sofubi and Unbox Industries and who goes there. The little blind boxes that we all got carried away with. Basically, it's Rye's thing. So Rye is to blame for this. This is his thing. So these are the boxes for who goes there. It's blind boxes. This is Series 5. I got one in a blind box at ToyCon that Rye didn't have. So being the absolute gent that I am, I traded it with him. Don't thank me. That's not why I do it. So he now had that. But I really liked the sculpt. And then I saw randomly the same sculpt in a slightly different color. The one I had was like pink and sort of pink and peach. A greeny, yellowy one was on eBay. It was a very reasonable price, so I slapped a bid down on it. Obviously, to immediately get a message from Rye to say, "Have you just outbid me?" Because only me and him care about this sort of stuff. And the answer was yes, I did. But very kindly, he was going to buy it for me, so I ruined the present, ruined the surprise. I am a ruiner. But he obviously said, "I'm not going to bid on it. It's crazy." So I won it, and that's great. But this was 2 weeks ago, and then what turned up was a different Sofubi, one that I didn't so much want. And after some conversations with the seller, it happens. He told two, literally same Unbox Industries blind boxes, and they went to the wrong addresses. So he very kindly, we sorted it out, and I posted the one I had to whoever it was, and they posted me. So 2 weeks in the making. This is going to be very. I've built it up too much. I really like this. This is by Wonder Goblin, great name, and Unbox Industries, Series 5. Who goes there? It is. Look at that. It's like a squid, crab, mollusk. It's got Lovecraft vibes. It's got a weird sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Welky fungus. It's got a weird fungus head. Yeah, it's just a little squid thing, squid crab. There we go. So I'm genuinely happy with that. Probably no one on here likes that, but I think it's really cool. This is where I'm at now with my collecting. This is what excites me, and it's all Rye's fault because he's opened a door he now can't close. And there we go. So yeah, that's the first thing I got. Maybe a card office on, Matt. You know it's coming to you when it's actually in the loft in the box, which will probably make you sick. But yeah, I will let you know. Instead of selling open them, well, the thing is, man, so if just what on the carded figures I spoke about a minute ago, I have complete loose Toxic Crusaders. I have a full complete loose set of Earthworm Jim and a complete set on card. Things like I have probably 2 or 3 of the ones that I want of the Mars Attacks carded. Loose. So so it makes no sense to open them because someone would enjoy them on card. The only one that's frustrating is the Attack at the Killer Tomatoes, because at this point I would probably trade a carded one for a loose one, but they're just really, really, really hard to find. So yeah, if I was going to open anything, it would be that. But that's it's kind of, I don't know, maybe not, because they are so hard to find. I don't know why I get so weird about it. You just think, it doesn't matter, it's mine, I do what I want with it, and everyone has a right to open up whatever they want, it's theirs. But then I think someone would enjoy that carded, and I perhaps I should just be less impatient and just try and find a loose one of what I want. I don't know, we'll see. I might change my mind next week and melt the lot in a big tub of acetone. I'm trying to do the buttons and talk at the same time. Multitasking. Did my first order from Toy Scavenger. Yeah, you did. For the 1 year anniversary, you got a complete Dead-Eye Duck, Battle Troll, and some minifigure mystery boxes. Highly recommend the website. It's really well presented. We love everything that Paul does, Toy Scavenger. Absolutely go and support him at the Toy Scavenger. I think it's .com, toyscavenger.com. Check out the Facebook page. Been doing it full time for a year. Maximum respect, because it's not easy. You got to keep enthused. You got to keep on the ball. You got to know your stuff. You've got to keep up with trends. You got to keep looking. And in this day and age, you've got to fight everyone else for all the same stuff. but Paul always has high quality goods. And so do support all the guys that we know that sort of sell Johnny Monkey's Emporium, Ken Back to the Toys, Paul Toy Scavenger, and of course then the brick and mortar shops. If you're in Portsmouth, you've got to go and see Ian at the Vintage Toy Monster. If you're in Leicester, obviously Leicester, Joe and Gav. If you're in or anywhere near Nerd Base, always worth a trip to go and see Craig. You've got to keep the toy shops alive, but you've also got to help the the individual sellers. Yeah, there's enough for everyone. There's enough. We can keep everyone working. Maybe, I don't know. What's Colin saying? So interested in the card stuff. I say, yeah, I will let you know, mate. You know I will. I would like to do a room tour, but I need to I haven't got a light for it. This is like a weird ring light that sits there, so I need to kind of do it properly. I've got nothing interesting anyway, apart from that Rick Rude. It's pretty interesting. Domo Arigato. I'm beginning to think you're definitely a real person because you come on every week. Thank you very much. Yeah. There we go. Mystery wrestling boxes. And now, I love it. Paul makes great mystery boxes. That's it. Support the store, support all the individual sellers, support everyone. It all comes back around anyway, do you know what I mean? And if you're looking for stuff, these are the guys that will help you out. If you need that one last piece, they'll find it for you because they're kings of snuffling things out. It's good. So the other thing I got this week, if you haven't watched it, do watch it, is so Slimehouse Theo has done a video on HorrorCon in Sheffield, for which he also is wasn't just recording, he actually is like talent liaison, so he moves the people around. So he's hanging out with all the Cenobites, which I thought was really cool because I love Hellraiser. I gotta say, I used to that was my absolute jam maybe 15 years. I love the horror stuff. Like merchandise wise, I still love horror films, but I've kind of gone off it a little bit. Not that it's just so much of it, and that's me being maybe a little bit gatekeepery, but just I've owned what I liked, and I don't need it all again. So when it was sort of NECA state of the art, and McFarlane came in, but now it's just some crazy good figures. So like merchandise wise, toy wise, there's some really good stuff. But oh my goodness, I was looking at his video, and it's the weird stuff. It's the handmade stuff. It's the wow, someone actually made that. Even the t-shirts. Like I pretty much only wear plain t-shirts. I don't really wear. I have a few, but I don't really wear logo or stuff on them. I've got maybe 5 or 6 that I don't mind wearing. Oh man, in the back of one of his shots, there was an Extro t-shirt. I don't know if anyone here is aware of the film Extro, but yeah, I dig that film. So I'd wear that. I'd wear an Extro t-shirt. It would have to be extra large these days, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah, if you watch his video, there's like loads of cool stuff, loads of cool stores, loads of cool merch stuff, all sorts of bits and pieces. So yeah, that was Theo Slimehouse TV, his HorrorCon video. Give it a watch. And there's a guy there who goes under the name Demonic Creations on Facebook. I've linked him in my Instagram picture of this piece on Instagram. And Theo very kindly saw a couple of bits that made him think of me, which is flattering and completely insulting when I show you what it is. He sent me some pictures, and I was like, oh man, if you don't mind grabbing it for me, that'd be wicked. But I also appreciate that, it's probably quite a bit of a hassle because they're not that smart. And he did, because he's a legend. He grabbed it for me. I paid the guy PayPal from me to him, and then he posted it to me. So the piece is from the film Bad Taste, which I'm pretty sure I've mentioned once or twice as my favourite film of all time ever. So this is the VHS of Bad Taste, and that is the iconic image from Bad Taste. That's Lord Crumb in alien form from Bad Taste, giving it the bird, giving it the middle finger to the world. So that is that's the image. That is like the image of Bad Taste, if to the layman. And this is my favourite film. So what Theo got me, and I love this. They're cast, but then hand painted and whatnot. Look at that! It's bigger than you thought, isn't it? It's pretty chunky. It's a chunky bit. So that's Lord Crumb from Bad Taste in all his glory, all his hand painted glory. It's absolutely brilliant. And just the reason I showed you the front cover is because there's also a hand, so you can recreate the the legendary front cover from Bad Taste. Now, I got to say, en route, and this was not anyone's fault, this was almost bound to happen, and it was a conversation me and Theo had, was it might not survive. The finger did break off en route, but it was such a clean break, glued it back together, you can't even notice. Lovely, lovely job. So yeah, it's Lord Crumb from Bad Taste, which I'm a huge fan of. There just really isn't, I mean, you saw how excited I got. Embarrassingly excited over the Bad Taste minifigures that Suburban Garbage made, and I'm like, well, this might be the first ever Bad Taste merch. I know this isn't really Bad Taste merch. This is a sort of statuette, but there's just not enough. There's not enough. So yeah, me and Theo, we're going to go into business together, and we're going to make minifigures of Derek, of Barry, of Ozzy, of Giles, of all the third class. Well, if you've seen Bad Taste, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, that's fair enough. Not many people have. You should watch it though, if you like really weird, gross out 80s homemade, handheld. It's the best. It's the best. Hello. We're going well, or I'm going well. I think I've done 26 minutes, and I'm still going, so we're doing all right so far. It's all right. How are you doing, Retro Chef? I hope you are well. Yeah, man. Well, again, if you've ever, I can't remember what it's called now, but on BBC Two there was a behind the scenes thing called like I think it was like Bad Taste, the Good Taste of Bad. I can't remember what it was called, but I recorded it onto my VHS and watched it 1,000 times because I loved how he made it. But yeah, the reason that the aliens' heads are shaped like curved backwards is because that is the exact size of his mum's oven. So they fit in with like 1 millimeter on each side, but he could only make them that big because that's how big the oven was. But yeah, man, so he made all the like the Sten guns, where everything he obviously handmade, the rocket launchers and whatnot. But he made the Sten guns, and then had his mates just shake them, and then everything was ADR'd, of course, like sound wise. But then he went in with a pin and just pinpricked the celluloid. So he's got like muzzle flashes and stuff. It's crazy what he managed to do. Yeah, it's great. Like the guy is literally a visionary filmmaker of that sort, and it's right that he went on to make things like Lord of the Rings, and he got the respect he deserved. But yeah, I'm an early doors Peter Jackson fan. Bad Taste, Brain Dead, Meet the Feebles, Frighteners, even Heavenly Creatures. Man, it's a good film. That was Peter Jackson. I was made that up. I don't think I've made that up. I think that's true. There we go. Yeah, big love for Lord Crumb. Absolutely. Need more people on the Bad Taste vibe. I don't think it's going to happen. Would it say you laugh, right? You laugh. Would I recommend it? I don't know, because if I said, man, it's my favorite film, you should check it out, and you went and watched it, you'd probably be disappointed because a lot of the reason it is my favorite film is like nostalgia for me, and watching it as a kid, and like it's everything. If you ever wanted just to like have the ability to grab some of your mates and go and make a horror film, and it be really good and not the absolute nightmare disaster, nothing that it would be if I actually did that, especially as a child, then that is the film for you. I mean, it is homemade, it's handmade, it's made with love, it's made with loads of invention and interesting ideas, and you could see that they sort of made a lot of it up as he went along, and it took years to make, and it's a masterclass in editing, in special effects, in homemade special effects, very, very homemade special effects. But if someone goes, that's my favorite film, what is it? It's Inception, or it's Batman the Dark Knight. Well, you're going to get a highly polished, spectacular. I like the new Dune. It's not the same as Bad Taste. It's a very, very different thing. So I don't know. I would recommend it, yeah, but I don't want to hear about it if you don't like it, because I understand why someone wouldn't. Oh man, it's rubbish. It was so low budget. Yeah. And if someone made a film like that now, I doubt I'd like it. See what I'm saying? So it's hard to recommend it. It's a weird one. Jodie's Derek, and Derek's don't run. Well, climb a tree or something. It's not. You know what we should do? We should do a watch party for Bad Taste. And I'd be that annoying guy just saying all the words. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Yeah, it is a couple of quid now. No Bad Taste VHS. I rebought that, and I only kept about, I say kept, I rebought about 5 or 6 VHSs just for like background displays. This and Braindead, had to buy them too. Of course I did. And weirdly, Ghoulies 2 as well, because it's such, to me, Ghoulies 2 is such an iconic front cover from the video shop. We used to go to Apollo Video, even though it's one of the worst films out there. Ghoulies 2 is terrible. There we go. Nice. What we saying, Brad? The helmet I got from Nerdbase on Sunday is great, excellent, and got better when I realised it is a Sound FX one with Empire snippets. Yeah. Did you want an absolute hype? You're in that weird spot now where you've got to sell loads of stuff, not even for like a money thing, but just like space, because the stuff that you want now is big. Because 1/6 stuff is big, and prop replica, well, you got loads of prop replicas anyway, but they're big. That's cool, man. I'm glad you're keen on it. They don't muck around. Nerdbase, Craig always sorts people out. Dave, the retro collector. What do you think about pre-ordering? I'm probably done. Well. Yeah, there are new things every other day. I also need to chase things. So I think we'll stick to vintage from now on. We'll talk about that in a second, because I've got a story to tell you, and the story's not over. It's halfway in. Yeah, Braindead. So if I was to recommend like a Peter Jackson old school film, it wouldn't be Meet the Feebles unless you want to watch Sesame Street on crack, and it wouldn't be Bad Taste, even though it's my favourite because it's very low budget. Braindead is right in that sweet spot. But it's very, very, very gory, very, very gory, but in a funny way. You know, it's obviously super over the top. And who doesn't love Uncle Les? Dude, it fell apart before the Hobbit trilogy, man. You ever seen King Kong? Jeez. Yes, Ollie. Yes. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm gonna tell my story, then I'm gonna send you a link. There we are. When you got these figures documented press stuff, when well, if I do end up doing something with Theo, that was kind of joking. We did joke about it, but if I do, then of course he would document it. He is very much a recorder of things. Adam, am I a fan of the art style of Spider-Man into Spider-Verse? When you TMNT Mutant Mayhem is very strong. I like it. I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, and I don't really watch the Spider-Man stuff, but I do like the art style. It's almost like I was going to say manga anime, but it's not. Yeah, it's the sort of sketchy style. It's like polished Bill Plimpton to me, and I like it. And I did hear the new TMNT. I might be wrong, but I might have been fooled by a joke article because I didn't read it. But no, I'm not going to say it. I reckon it's a joke article. Saying about Trent Reznor having something to do with the soundtrack. I think I've been pranked. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not really a Spider-Man guy. I'm not really a superhero guy. I like superheroes who are, other than the Blob, which I like. The superheroes I like, their special powers are usually they just get really angry. Like I like the Punisher because he just gets he has no superpowers at all other than just being really angry and having access to lots of weapons. I'm trying to think, what other superheroes? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really a superhero guy, if I'm honest. Thanks, man. I didn't just dream that. Trent Reznor, yeah, and Atticus Ross are doing the score. Yeah, I did. Not, my eyes weren't deceiving me. Although, for all I know, it could have been like an Onion style or Hard Times thing, which is obviously just meant to be a joke. So Mike Patton did that's amazing. Mike Patton did the theme. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, all right. I wasn't just making it up. This is good. Brad, the guys at Nerdbase are top class. Yes, of course they are. I mentioned wanting one of the figs, and they pointed the cheapest one. They do think about their customers. But again, all these guys do. And I've been in a very serious way that if the guys that I speak with, the Pauls, the Johnnies, the Craigs, the Ians, Vintage Toy Monster, the Joes, the Gavs, Ken, the guys that kind of sell for a living, they know very well that if you don't look after the people that buy off you, then they won't buy off you for much longer. So they know what they're doing, and they know how to look after people. And for that, respect. Right, hold on 2 seconds while I do something. Bam. There you go. Ollie, I've sent you the link, dude. So jump the hell in. Gremlins fan. I do like. I love I love Gremlins 2. You're gonna meet Zach Galligan. That's cool, man. That's very cool. That's cool. Yeah, I like Gremlins. I like Gremlins, but I love Gremlins 2. I love everything about the background vibe behind it. The fact that the studio said, "Oh, we're going to make another Gremlins," and they just couldn't get it together. So they got Joe Dante involved and said, "We need you to make another Gremlins." Yeah, nah, already done that. And they sort of pestered him and badgered him, and he said, "I'll do it, but I get to do the film that I want to make." And they went, "Yeah, whatever." And that's why he made one of the greatest spoof, fourth wall breaking, self-aware, like just. Yeah, it's just one of the greatest comedies ever made, in my opinion, Gremlins 2, because it's so aware of itself and not a lot of, other than sort of like naked guns and stuff. That it's one of almost like you don't have good spoof films in it. It's like a spoof of a horror film, but it's a spoof of its own horror film, which is quite impressive. And then that whole vibe of like a good spoof film was completely murdered by, I'm not saying Scary Movie, but that. What came after that with pirate movie, date movie, disaster, whatever. It was just like, okay, when you've got people, when the joke is someone runs in and goes like, "What's up?" Like, man, that ages really quick and really badly. When the jokes are basically about adverts and stuff. So I'm rambling now about spoofs. I apologise. Have I missed any? I don't think I've missed any. No, we're good. So yeah. Hulk Hogan style Gremlins 2. Well, oh brother, sort of. £30 for a fight. That's not bad. That's not bad. When some, I've paid more. I paid less, but I've also paid more. So yeah, what I was going to talk to you about. Let me talk to you. It's a bit of LA night there. Is so I pre-ordered a figure 2 years ago. In about 2 weeks' time, it'll be 2 years since I pre-ordered this figure, and so I can't let that go. Name me a film that Danny Glover has made better. Honestly, terrible. He wasn't bad in the Royal Tenenbaums, but he didn't really do a lot. I'll never forgive whoever cast him in Predator 2. It's the worst casting. No one say Lethal Weapon. Jesus. I think I am literally as old as Danny Glover was when he was too old for that nonsense in Lethal Weapon. Anyway, yeah. So about 2 years ago, I pre-ordered a figure, and it's I'll tell you what it is. It's a 1/6 Patrick Bateman American Psycho figure. A really nice one. I have one already, but this is like super nice. Everyone's trying to get in now. Did he make Saw better, or was he in it? Why are you saying Predator 2? We've got this idea for this film, which is basically a slasher film in the jungle, and we're going to have Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah, he's pretty big. And we're surrounded by massive dudes. Jesse the Body Ventura, Carl Weathers. They're all going to be huge. Even Jean-Claude Van Damme's going to be in it. Well, it wasn't. Massive. We're going to do Predator 2. What do we want? We want Danny Glover. Insane. Insanity. Yeah, and basically... So I ordered this figure from Iconic Studios. It's a much better version of Patrick Bateman than the one I've got. So I thought I'll buy this and then I'll sell my one, and that'll be that. And it said it had a pre-order, an ETA delivery time of Q3 2022. So that would be July, August, September last year. Okay, so I order a year in advance. All right. I say pre-order. So I bought it from a company called Nerd Toys, which we'll get onto in a minute. A company called Nerd Toys. I saw they had them up for pre-order. I'm like, okay, they seem like a reputable company. People seem quite happy with them. Fine. It was 320 quid, which is enough money to not want to lose. And but it's not a pre-order. This is the thing. This is what irritates me. And it's my bad. Maybe I'm not suspicious or cautious enough. It's a pre-buy. I've pre-bought this item. I gave £320 over and was like, I guess I'll get it in a year. Right. So here's 320 quid. Done. Gone. What's frustrating is 20 minutes after I placed that order, I was noodling around just looking for whatever, and I saw that Comics and Cocktails had the same figure with the same delivery date, but for like 260 quid. I'm like, oh no, that's like an 80 quid difference. Oh no, what an absolute nightmare. What an idiot I am for getting overexcited and just buying it and not shopping around. Oh, can I live with that? Oh, I don't think I can live with it. I think I need to sort it out. So I messaged Nerd Toys, Jason at Nerd Toys, and said, mate, massive apologies. I need to cancel my order. I've literally, like within half an hour, I've literally just put it in. But my bad. I've read the terms and conditions, and I accept the fact, even though in my head I'm like, it's pretty irritating, that I'm going to lose 10%. So you get to keep 32 quid for doing nothing, for literally doing nothing. I've just given you 32 quid, whatever. But I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, I'm still saving 50 quid, so it's worth doing. And he like basically talked me out of it, which is weird because I'm not one to bow to peer pressure. He didn't pressure me out of it. He was like, can I ask who else has got it? And I'm like, Comics and Cocktails. He said, oh man, the thing about them is they probably won't get it. That like, and what happens is they order it in, then they cancel your orders. No, I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, much to my embarrassment, I was like, all right, we're here now. The money's paid. Whatever. We'll see what happens. So I said, all right, man, appreciate it. Can you let me know when you get an update? And months went by. Not a problem, because the delivery forecast was July or September last year. So you get to about June, and then it pushes to Q4. Okay, that's pretty tedious. But I'm still getting answers. I'm saying, yeah, still on track. And then we come to this year, and I'm like, it got to sort of Jan, Feb, and I'm like, I don't even know if I want this anymore. Like, I have a Patrick Bateman 1/6. Quite frankly, I don't even care about that. My tastes in what I collect are going up and down. I don't know what I want. I think I want more. I don't know what I want. I want more Mad Balls, and I don't know. I don't know if I want hyper realistic. I mean, I have a bunch of Hot Toys and Sideshow and other 1/6 stuff literally above me in my loft that are stored, boxed up in crates that I had on display, and now I don't. So just adding to this pile of stuff that I own, I'm like, ugh. So I messaged him. I was like, if it's not coming soon, we're already like 6 months past where it should have been. I'll just take a refund. No. I know what you're saying, but again, it was like, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll get it, man. Maybe I love it and I'll sell the other one. I don't know, whatever. And then about a week ago, it was literally about a week ago, Steve Darby Collector, got in touch with me because I think I know he's got some pre-orders with him as well, and basically said like, oh dude, like it's going off. And Nerd Toys they've closed their Facebook page down, and that's never good. The Instagram pages that he has for multiple places have been wiped clean of comments. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second. Hello, mate. Hello. You have to hear me rambling, finishing my boring story, and then we'll talk.
It's all right. I didn't realise you sent me the link, so carry on.
Okay, that's all right. So yeah, so here we are. I'm coming up to 2 years into this pre-buy, and I'm like, oh no. And I'm still communicating with this dude, but they have been very, very sketchy. It can take weeks. It's taken months sometimes for him to get back and say basically nothing. Just say, oh yeah, hurry up and wait. So okay. And then Steve gets in touch with me last week and says they've cancelled their Facebook page, deleted it. They've wiped off all their comments because they're getting so much heat. I said to Steve, if you guys want a bit of a giggle, go to Trustpilot online and look at Nerd Toys. My goodness, in the last 2 weeks, woo! It is 1-star heaven, apart from the ones that say like, I wish I could give this 0 stars, and it would appear that a lot of people are owed a lot of money, a lot of stuff. So yeah, having been talked into keeping it with this company, I'm now down 320 quid. But so everyone's chasing their stuff. Apparently the dude is a bit obviously he's sketchy. He sent an email out to all of us kind of apologizing, but also kind of blaming the customer and saying it's been bad because people keep canceling pre-orders. And I'm like, well, okay. And I've messaged now 3 or 4 times and nothing back. The last one was just to say, can you just at least acknowledge you're getting these messages? Because to be honest with you, if I found out, if someone said to me, yeah, like, I've nicked your money, the end, I wouldn't be happy about it, but I could move on and accept it. Yeah, but as it is now, it's this weird state of limbo where I'm like, right, so a bunch of people are hounding them for their stuff or their money back, and a load of people have been promised refunds. We've started the process, but they haven't started the process. They've waited months for them. People are more, into it more than I am. Some people are into it less than I am, but whatever. So I messaged Iconic Studio. So, and on Instagram, I just happened to see the Iconic Studios, the Bateman figure that I've pre-ordered has maybe 2 weeks ago started shipping. So I'm like, okay. I'm irritated with Nerd Toys because they haven't been in contact with me because they're rubbish at communicating, but they obviously haven't got the stock yet of the thing that I've bought. That doesn't excuse any of their behavior, but like, they haven't got the stock yet because it's only just started getting shipped. So I've given it a couple of weeks, and I messaged Iconic Studios. I'm like, all right, guys, do you happen to sell to a company called Nerd Toys in the UK?
Detective Dan.
Yeah, well, mate, they got straight back to me, and was just like, no, they're not one of us, but that doesn't mean they're not a third-party supplier. If you tell us how much they're charging, we can probably work out. And I'm like, all right, well, this is what it is. And they did some research, and they basically said, look, we don't know who it is, but that is certainly a third-party distributor. So we've started shipping our stuff out to our distributors, and then it will go to them. So I would suggest they will get their hands on it in maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and then you can go from there, sort of thing. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to lose my mind because it might just turn up. I'm not going to lose my mind about it until maybe about 6 weeks from now, when everyone's showing what they've got online. Because these things, I don't even care anymore about it, but they're completely sold out. There's waiting lists. People were like paying double on the after. Do you know what I mean? People want this thing, right? So we'll see if it turns up or not. But yeah, the Iconic were like straight back, like customer service. Honestly, I should have bought direct from them if I knew, how to do it at the time. But yeah, they're absolutely on the ball. But a lot of people are saying, in especially the Trustpilot, I say reviews, I just mean slatings that Nerd Toys are getting. Is like, they know what they're doing. They basically take your money on pre-order and then keep you strung along until the PayPal warranty runs out or the bank thing runs out. Because Iconic Toys even said to me, they went, you might want to talk to your bank now to set it up so if you don't get it, it's easier to process. And I'm like, thanks very much. And maybe I will. I don't know, man. I'm very lazy. I know it's 320 quid, but like, I don't want to talk to the bank. So we'll see.
Same thing happened to me a couple of years ago. I went to buy a computer, but I was going to buy it piece by piece and like build it and like have a proper editing machine.
Yeah.
And I was looking through the internet and I found this company called Way Plus, like WAE Plus, whatever.
Way.
Yeah, exactly. That should have been a red flag from the start. But and so I ordered all the parts from them and spent, let's put it this way, over $1,000 on
money,
computer parts. And like nothing turned up on the delivery day, and I kept having to hound them and phone them and call them, and they kept like ignoring my calls. And then it was going to call centers in India, and then by doing some detective work, I found out they were actually based in Birmingham, where I am. So I found their headquarters.
Amazing.
And I went up there, and like they kept denying that they knew anything about this company called Way Plus. But thankfully, I bought it on my credit card, so I managed to get my money back, so that was okay. But the problem, they started a new company straight away under a different name. That's the problem.
And this is what keeps happening. I mean, the same. It sort of got sorted out, but it's what happened with Megalopolis Toys that became Premium DNA. It's the same dudes, and although they obviously are shipping their stuff, just the lack of communication is just embarrassing. It's just terrible. I tell you what is funny though, man. Like on the Trustpilot website, there's just a ton of one-star reviews and like avoid, and then splattered in there's a couple of 5-star reviews. There's nothing in between. It's
but they're so.
But both the 5-star ones really made me laugh because they basically said it said terrible, shambles. I ordered this. They said it was ordered. Absolute shambles. Update. Jason told me to call him directly, and I'm speaking to him later. Update. He seems like a really nice guy. And we've come to an agreement, and everyone falls on hard times. I'm really happy with how I think it's going to go. 5 stars, and I'm like, that doesn't make
your transaction hasn't been completed yet.
But even if it had, it wasn't a 5-star service, dude. You had to complain on the
Yeah.
internet to get the dude to be like, ring me personally and we'll sort it out. That's not a 5-star service, man. That's like, to me, that's a maybe delete the review because it got sorted, or give it 3. I don't know. It's just funny to me to be like, this is the worst company I've ever dealt with. I spoke to him, 5 stars.
Well, it's my wife bought me some stuff from Nerd Toys, I think a couple of Christmases ago, and I didn't get my items till probably near July.
Yeah.
So you're talking 6-7 months after Christmas.
Well, the premium DNAs you see up there, the Mad Balls ones, the big Mad Balls ones. I just want the 9 head poppers, and they've only made 3 and a bit so far. And the next, they've announced their series 2, and there's Slobulus and Wolf's Breath in. I'm like, but it's like, I would genuinely rather pay more on the aftermarket. Like, I pay £20-30 more, and it'd be done with, rather than have this money sitting somewhere. And is it going to turn up? I mean, that company, they're putting out the prototype sculpts for the Earthworm Jim stuff. I don't think the Battletoads have been like, these things have been on for years. They've been rolling, and it's like, guys, that's why I've got a problem with Hasbro and Mattel with their it's just crowdfunding, dude. Like, oh, do you want this?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that looks wicked. Yeah. Pay for it, and then if enough people pay for it, we'll make it. What? No, make it and sell it. Don't like, yeah. And if enough people want it, we'll add a little figure there. We'll add a little figure into it. You can only get with this. I tell you what, man. So some of the people are commenting like, and I agree. You can't pre-order retro toys, guys, because they already exist, and that's the thing, right? But the more companies make new style toys based on old style lines, the more this is the most.
Well, here's the thing: collecting retro is fun because you know it's out there. You've just got to find it. And then if something's in the shop, you can just go and get it if you want it. You get that instant fix. Pre-orders, I hate them. Like, I pre-order. Like, you were talking about Spider-Verse. I actually think that movie is fantastic. When I went to see that film, I was like, I'll go and watch an animated Spider-Man film. Sure. I left that cinema rejuvenated. I thought it was amazing.
That's the reaction. That's the reaction that every single person that I know seen it. They're like, yeah, and they watch it and like, dude, it's like one of the best. It's one of the. It's not one of the best Spider-Man films. It's one of the best superhero films I've ever seen.
It's my number 1 superhero film. But anyway, so Kapow put up the Hot Toys Miles Morales. This was before the first lockdown.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I bought that sucker because it was like, it's coming later this year.
Yeah.
I just got a notification it's been sent out today, and I don't care anymore because because Hot Toys have announced the new one from the new film, which looks even better, and it's like, I'm going to get this figure now that's
but also
outdated.
Also, the excitement of you just seeing that film and it's dissipated. It happens. Totally. Yeah, man. It's
like people were waiting 4 years for this Batman from is it Mafex or one of those?
Oh yeah.
Companies. It's ridiculous.
It does get insane. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, they've closed it down, and everyone has had enough. It would appear. I'm keeping on the fence because I'm still. I mean, this is incredibly naive. I'm hoping
it's hanging on.
Well, all I'm saying is I haven't been ripped off yet because I know they haven't got the goods. I know that for a fact because they've only just started being shipped out from Hong Kong. So we shall see. What's Dave saying? Pre-orders take the fun out of buying a bit for me. Absolutely. Arranging deals weeks before toy fairs. Yeah, the toy fair thing is maybe that's more logistical, but I know what you mean. There is something magical about seeing something and being like, and getting it there and then, as opposed to knowing beforehand. Certainly 4 years beforehand, I would say is a stretch. But yeah, there's always issues with some of this stuff. I do. You know how I feel about spheres, man. I just can't stop collecting them. Yeah, Nerd Toys are definitely in hot water. Well, are they? I don't know how these things work, but yeah, they are absolutely getting smashed. Unreliable, failed pre-orders. Many customers lost out on their favorite items. Yeah, and met with a ton of excuses. This seems to be the theme, that there is no kind of hand. There's no it's coming, or we're processing your refund and whatever. I don't know. I thought it's funny. It's funny to me because I got talked into keeping it with them on day 1 2 years ago. All right, yeah. All right, sounds good.
I mean, do you think then might not be hello Pete's Toys and Tings?
Hellos, lots of hellos.
Do you think there's any value that they're not talking to people for legal reasons or whatever, so they're not promising things they can't deliver or something. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know, man. I mean, it must be quite disheartening because by all accounts, that genuinely now I'm going to play. That's not devil's advocate. I'm going to play not my normal miserable self. By all accounts, they were a good shop. They were reliable. They were a safe pair of hands up until about October last year. That's what it appears. And there was a drop off in buying toys, and apparently Hasbro pulled out of a bunch. Things happened, right? So it must be quite disheartening just to get absolutely smashed with emails, and the ones that aren't I want a refund are where the hell's my stuff. Like, I don't know, man. And then people have personal problems. It all mounts up. It's happened time and time again to toy sellers. That there's one in the news in the newspaper I read not even that long ago that people were going to this guy's shop and basically just taking stuff because he owed them goods. And I'm not going to say the name of the company because I might be wrong, but there was a company that took people's pre-orders for is it HasLab stuff, like basically things like the Jabba's barge and things like that, and the Mandalorian ship and whatever, and it just didn't deliver. And then someone put a picture of the dude selling at either Echo Live, I think it was Echo Live, selling the pieces.
Oh, okay.
And so people literally walked up to this dude, took it, and like it was like, had a comment, like, you owe me that. I've paid for this. You don't get to take my money, buy stock in, sell that stock, and then backfill my order. You need to give it to, and then people just went there and like basically just took what kind of was theirs, basically. So yeah, all fun. It's like the Warriors, isn't it? But like with toys. It's good.
Warriors.
Hey, doing Kev, London Toy Shop selling on Toy Fair on Saturday. Good friend of ours, Dave Blade, nothing but the toys, will be there selling his entire collection because he's a madman. He likes to sell it all and then he'll buy it all again in the year. It's fine. Dave had the same issue with Nerd Toys in the end, so I asked him what they have in stock now, and I just picked a couple of bits and time to send those. That's amazing. What have you got? I've ordered this, but what have you got instead? That's fine. Yeah. Paul, I'm big on Trustpilot as an important part of myself buying something online, so I tried to get the Toy Scout to be top on there. One bad review can kill everything, even a 4. Yeah. 4 stars weird, right? I don't want to link this always to my own experience, but with the last album I did that was like a proper release thing with under a label, it got like a bunch of sort of like 4s and like 8s, 8.5, and you're like, yeah. It's just, I don't know why it annoyed me so much. 4 out of 5, pretty good, but yeah.
I've never been a fan of actual number or like letter grade ratings because they never kind of make sense to me.
Dude, that's why I've always said back in the day, right? Krang magazine, the Metal Hammer, meh.
It was always about those free CDs with Metal Hammer and Rock Sound.
For sure. But so Rock Sound was a different beast, but Metal Hammer. So Krang was reviewed by paid reviewers. Metal Hammer reviews were by fans, so you got slightly more. I
never knew that.
Yeah, well, they had paid reviewers as well, but also just people just sent in reviews. Terrorizer was the one because it was like, oh, I love this band and this is what I think about this album. No rating, no score, no grade, just like, this is what I think about this album. And so you got a really good fleshed out by someone.
And you had to read the review, not just look at the number at the bottom.
You read the whole review and you knew it was by someone that knew what they were talking about with regards to that band or at least that style of music. So with Terrorizer, although no one read it because it was like, you want to know what the latest Cannibal Corpse vibe is. Terrorizer, not Krang. That's all I'm saying. Obviously. Yeah. Paul, most companies do pre-orders because have no money. Yep. So it could go at any point with a few bad decisions. Yeah, I mean, you almost think that it's tricky. I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's a difficult thing. But I would imagine when you take a bunch of pre-order money, it would be tempting, or if not, maybe it has to be the way that you use that money to deal with today's money problems. And then when it comes time to kind of pay up, but it's almost like if I ran a company, this is total conjecture, but when I had my own limited company, not selling stuff, just selling myself to the man, when I got paid, you have to take a chunk of that money and put it completely separately, because in a year's time, they're going to go, and this is what you owe as in corporation tax. So it's not my money. So to me, with regards to the pre-order, if there's any chance I have to give this back to you, it's not my money. It's not my money.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that they have to then pay onwards to buy the stuff in. But the whole system seems a bit broken, because if you can put an order to me and then I pay someone in America to buy it and I get it in and you go, actually, I don't want it, then I'm left holding the baby somewhat and being like, well, I've got to shift this now. So it's tricky.
It's like, I agree with, paying the 10% like fee. So like comics and cocktails, if you cancel an order, they charge you 10%, don't they? Which is fair enough if you do that. Like that's on me, not them.
Yeah. And like I say, Nerd Toys, I called half an hour later, I emailed them and I'm like, I get it. I've put the order in, it's 10%. But their refund policy, as it is now, a bit of a joke, but it's if I cancel the order, I owe you 10%. If they cannot supply the item, then it's a full refund if things get cancelled or whatever. But at what point? Give me another 10 years, man. I promise I'll get it. Oh, all right. At what point? What point do we establish you haven't supplied the item? The estimated. It's not Nerd Toys' fault that the Bateman that I've bought got pushed back literally a year with regards to release, but it's also not my fault.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you go with. I could have left the country in a year. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's a weird one. Dave, I suspect they've been stiff with people cancelling orders. Correct that the TNCs don't cover them for credit card companies refunding people's money. Used them a few times last year. Correct, and that's one of the things that he highlighted in the mass email, a sort of apology he sent out, basically saying he knows that they've not been good form and they're going to resolve it. But the reasons behind that are, and a lot of that is just, dude, when people's energy bills triple overnight, that 60, 70, 100, 200 pound order on flipping, I don't know, I've talked about new Turtles figures. I need that money now. It's simple as that. People are struggling. People are struggling to eat. People are struggling to live. So this plastic stuff.
But I guess then it has a knock-on effect, because then if a lot of people do that to the businesses, then it puts them on dire straits, and it's like, it's just.
I mean, you take the toys bit out of the conversation and you talk about clothes and food and whatnot, yeah. and that is a recession.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't got enough money to buy stuff, therefore people aren't selling enough stuff, therefore no one has any money. You got to keep money moving, and that's why you got to give the lowest point of society the most amount of money, and we'll all benefit, because then they won't take as much money out of tax. If only someone would invent socialism. I'm telling you, it would work. JM, I used to write for Metal Hammer, good man, and Terrorizer. Yeah, boy. Once gave an album 0 out of 10 when the magazine came out and mysteriously got a 4. Maybe
what was the album?
You got to tell us what band it. You got to tell us what band it was. I'm telling you, you got to. Maybe the bassist in the band was the brother of someone that worked at one of the magazines. One of my old demos. This is 2003. No, yeah, maybe 2003. A demo. It wasn't a demo. It was a demo because it was badly recorded, but it was like a little 3-track. It got like unsigned band of the month for Metal Hammer, and yeah, it probably somewhat helps that I was friendly with the one of the editors at Metal Hammer, because I used to spend my work day on the Metal Hammer chat board forum.
I used to go on that.
Yeah. What was your name on it?
Do you want to? It was my first ever email, and I carried that screen name over. It was crappy _skater _dude.
Well, that is terrible, embarrassing, and humiliating, and I love everything about it. I was on there for years, dude. I was called Darkwing Duck on there. For years and years. Yeah. I have genuine real life friends in real life that I met on that board and then met in real life. So, yeah.
Same. Like I was on the Kevin Smith used to have like a board years ago, and I've met some of the people on there came to my wedding and stuff. It's amazing, like the friends you can make off.
Oh yeah,
like,
man.
Forums like this, for example. I've met yourself and others and that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, that's how it was done. There was one board that loads of people went on it. It was called the Hate Pit, and it was literally if you want it, like it's almost like we should have known where the internet was going from the Hate Pit, because it was like you just go on there and just be absolutely horrible to people and get abuse. So if you're already stressed, it was like the internet equivalent of like taking a baseball bat and smashing a fax machine up. Yeah,
awesome.
What's that? Yeah, well, that's it. When there's trouble, you call DW, Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous. This is why I was called Darkwing Duck. Yeah, love it.
Cartoon. I love that cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my initials, DW. So.
Do you want to see some toys that I've been making?
Yeah, I do. I really do. Hold on a second. Let's get through these, and then absolutely. So yeah, I'll stop talking about nerd toys and pre-orders. But owner of Toys-R-Us had to sell up due to health problems, and it's lined up February, March. The sale had collapsed, and Toys-R-Us is liquidation. Yeah, that is sad. That is sad. We are on a knife edge with this sort of stuff. Don't worry, Paul. Don't worry about that. We don't mind that. One of the Trustpilot headers. You have more chance ordering collectibles from Bernie Maddox than their toys. Honestly, some of them are really good, but not so good for me or Darby, who have like skin in the game. Show me what you've been working on, man, because this is exciting to me. This is exciting.
So this is the hard copy. I actually showed this when I came on, I don't know, sometime last year.
Oh, well, I remember this. This has been quite some. This is almost a Nerd Toys pre-order length endeavor.
Yeah, I haven't taken anyone's money though, so don't worry.
Yes, fair.
So this is the hard copy. This is T-Bone McLaser Blast.
Incredible.
He's fully articulated. So this is like the Super Sculpey version. So he's a bit delicate.
Yeah.
But over the last week, I've casted him, and this is where I'm at so far. So this is like a full-on version. The joints are supposed to come off because the idea is that I can make interchangeable limbs and stuff like that.
So is this? I mean, I obviously absolutely love it, and if you haven't seen,
painted that obviously, but that's his head,
and that's the special edition. If you haven't seen this in action, I'm losing my mind. What's the song called?
So the band, that's what they're called. They're called the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. That's correct. You've done like 3 or 4 of their videos, but
I've done 8.
8.
I've missed
videos. The one you did, the song that I like the most of theirs that I've heard the video did is the one with the town where everyone is and everything is edible. That I like.
So so I did a trilogy of videos, and one's called Mr. Prism, and it follows like Alice from Alice in Wonderland, and she kind of ends up in this like Candyland. And let's just say it kind of gets pretty horrific. And then when we were like, they said, "Oh, we love that video. Will you do another claymation video?" And so we were kind of the song was called Tally Ho. So in my head, Tally Ho is like a hunting term, isn't it? But in Australia, Tally Ho is like a brand of Rizzlers, I think.
Oh, okay.
So that's what the song is about.
Right.
So I was like, well, I don't want to do a hunting video because I've done a Prodigy video, which is all about hunting and stuff.
Yes.
And so I was like, let's do like a guy who hunts giant monsters or something under the sea. Let's
do underwater Dog the Bounty Hunter. That's
so then they went, can you change it from underwater and have it in space?
Yeah.
But still have him in a ship. And I was like, well, that sounds like a bit cumbersome. I'll change the ship to like a truck or whatever. Yeah. And so it just follows this bounty hunter guy who just kills giant monsters. And at the end of the Mr. Prison video, Alice turns big because she's got the So my brain's working. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, it's lockdown. I haven't got any work. I could probably get a few more videos out of this idea if I pitch it correctly. So I basically said, well, how about at the end of this video, he's hunting giant monsters. His next job, like a post-credit scene, is he's got to take down a giant Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Yes. So then he has to travel to this land of cakes, which has now become all Mad Max kind of, and it's kind of got like rebel cakes and then cakes who are subservient to Alice. It's all a bit weird.
And then there's big there's Princess Bubblegum vibes to me with regards to but a huge fan of that one. I like
and and it's just about T-Bone and his companion, which is this like orange blob. So
is that based loosely on Snot from Earthworm Jim?
I guess so. I mean, if you watch the video, it's kind of just the way I draw stuff and make stuff anyway is very toyetic, I guess.
Well, but I would say it's super playmate. Like your model builds, and everyone's will say, "Oh, it's like Aardman."
It's all about stocky, squatty poses.
Yeah. But I like your model builds. There was is it called? What was that thing I used to watch? It's called Trogs, maybe. It's about prehistoric. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, Grogs, wasn't it?
Grogs. Yeah.
The guy who did that, he directed a film recently called Chuck Steele, which is like a feature-length claymation. So check that out.
Gogs. It was called Gogs.
Gogs. That's it.
That's what my brain's kicking in.
It had a baby that kept snot a big ball.
That's right. With the snot bubble that kept going. But I'm like that so the figure, it's just got. I know you collect that range, but it's just got massive Playmates vibes, which I love.
Yeah.
Like the kind, like you say, like the sort of bigger belly and the really really good.
So when I designed it though, it was initially going to be like a 3.5, 4-inch figure. But so if I grab this Master of the Universe Origins figure, they're quite big. It's a lot bigger than a.
That's cool, man.
Than a play. It's probably about 5 inches, maybe. So it's a bit
That's
bigger
cool.
than a Turtles figure, but it's actually more in scale with the Earthworm Jim figures.
Yeah. Okay. So when am I getting one? That's my next question.
Well, this one will be yours when he's finished. You get 0-1 of.
Okay, 0-1. You got to sign it though. You got to sign the foot.
Sign it. Where do you want me to sign it on his back?
No, on the foot. On the bottom.
On the foot. Okay.
Yeah.
See if I can fit my handwriting. I've got terrible handwriting though, man.
That's. It doesn't matter. It's got to be signed by the creator. So how many are you making a run of these?
Eventually, yeah. I've been. Down here, I've bought a vacuum chamber, which probably doesn't mean anything to anyone, but like you put it to this thing called a pressure pot, which I actually showed off when I was here last time, and you connect it together and you put the resin mold in there and it sucks all the air out of it. So this guy here, if you look, he had loads of air bubbles in, which I had to kind of fill in.
I was going to say, you said last time that's the way to get a more consistent bubble.
Yeah, so I just did this blind, but I was chatting to a guy called We Love Faco on Instagram, and he phoned me up today, and he was actually at the ToyCon you're at. And, he does the blind box toys, and he had like a gumball machine, and he was in one of Theo's videos.
Yeah, I know the gentleman. Yep,
awesome guy. Like I've never really spoken to him till today, and he kind of talked me through how to use my vacuum chamber, because I didn't want to explode and destroy my house. Because you look at this stuff, and it looks like it could blow up at any time.
Well, yeah, and you feel like this, like, you know, when you see like Mythbusters, when they purposely do a over compress like a water heater.
Exactly, yeah.
Just absolutely shit off. So you should Rainbow Yawn, if you should get in touch with as well.
Well, he was, to be fair, he was the guy who recommended this this resin to me, because normally I use a hard resin, and I noticed he made Masters of the Universe figures and clipped them all together, because I didn't want to do a lot of these other toy makers who, I'm not to downplay them because they're amazing.
Yeah.
But they use magnets and stuff.
Yep.
And I didn't want to use magnets. I wanted it to be like a proper toy that you could clip
the way
together.
the way that you've made it, given the choice, is the absolute way. Magnets, it works, it's fine, but there is something a little bit messy about it. It's not quite the toy. This is my opinion. Everyone has. I've got figures. I've got wrestling Hasbro customs that are magnetized arms, so you can move around. It's cool, but it's not quite what I'd be looking for.
Like I'm trying to emulate that experience of actually having a toy. The only thing that I haven't mastered is to do the legs, because to do Playmates articulation on their legs were pretty pointless anyway. But
I think it's the legs that is what was kicking me with the Playmates, because I'm looking at Earthworm Jim, like they have the solid leg stance, and then the kind of, you know, the twist and the movable bodies on top. Like, yeah, that's awesome. What's Sai saying? Does Ollie sell his custom figures, or are they for your own collection?
So yeah, Dan did that. So I am going to do a run of these. I mean, I don't know how much they'll cost, because they cost a lot more than I would like to sell them for, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it probably takes a day and a half, 2 days to make a full-on just one of these. So I'm looking to make at least 15 to 20 maybe, and I'll do some variations of this like guy, maybe like glow in the dark and stuff to kind of mix it up. But I would like to do the Birmingham Toy Fair in October, and I don't know if there's any market for selling any like custom stuff, but I don't know.
There is, and what we just got to do is just build the hype, man. Just like get people, honestly, get people interested, and like it's a weird thing, because if you said I've made this figure, maybe you get it packaged up, maybe you don't, because that will obviously, it looks cool, but it adds
that's my plan. So my brother-in-law he's got a printing company, and he's done a lot of cards for people who do like custom Star Wars toys and stuff. So we're doing some tests to see if we can do big enough cards. Yeah. And then I've got to figure out how to make a vacuum formed blister box for it, basically.
The other
Or the other is I make a box that it goes in as
I was going
opposed.
to say the other thing. Should you want the cheapest, authentic Sofubi experience?
Oh, a bag with a clip on top.
It's a bag with a stapled, folded over bit of cardboard on top. That's literally how they sell them.
So, like, I documented the first part of making this on my YouTube channel. So part 2 will be coming soonish, but I'm doing another video for the Porn Crumpets. In fact, I'm doing 3. So I'm not sure. Hopefully, I'm going to get to these. I might just like do one a week or something. Do you know what I mean? Just to kind of build them up. But yeah, so the next part will come out soon, and then the third part will be designing the package and all that, and getting that made up.
Oh, that's so good. And at some point you've got to find time for the custom. Am
I allowed to show what's going to go on with this?
Yeah. So
right,
this is an exclusive. This is I set Ollie a task. I mean, I set you a task. I asked you to do something for me, and
Dan sent me this. A Rick Rude.
Yeah.
However, something happened. He fell and his arm fell off. But I'm going to make them articulated.
Oh, you're not.
I am.
You're madman.
The one thing I was going to ask you though. So, do you want me to completely cut off this face?
Yeah. Get rid of the head. I don't care.
You don't want the mullet. You sure you don't want the mullet?
I don't have a mullet. You know this. this needs to be the Mr. Dan Plastic thing.
But yeah, this is next week's project.
Amazing.
So this will be a video as well eventually. I did actually.
We now have recorded evidence as to why I've been sending you pictures of myself topless in case it ever came out. This is the reason why.
What was I going to say? I just had a complete brain fart then. Oh yeah, I'm annoyed because like I did that thing for Theo's, you know, the robot thing, the amp.
Yes, well you won. You won the competition.
I know I did. That was pretty cool actually. You were the one who told me I won. I was like, what have I won? I said Theo's thing. I was like, oh. Well.
I said, congrats, man. He was like, what for? I was like, you won. Won what? It's cool.
But yeah, but that was really cool. But I lost all that footage. I don't know. I've lost my memory card with all the footage on. I have no idea where it's gone, and I'm really annoyed about that. So
I hope it's not falling in your pressure pot. That would be not good.
No. Oh, T-Bone took a tumble.
Oh no! You see, guys, the generous offer of sending me the prototype figure is now it's defective. It's got bubbles. He's fallen. He's all right.
He pops back together.
Look at that.
There we go.
It's brilliant. It's genuinely brilliant. I love it.
No, I'm like, normally I hate everything I make. It's just what I'm like. But I'm actually really pleased with how this has turned out at the moment. For my first kind of proper go at making an
actual action figure.
Yeah, I'm awesome. Quite pleased. And then I've got the next one planned, and he's like another character from the video. Yeah. He's like a bug guy with 4 arms and stuff, which is why I bought this at the Toy Con. Which is quite a shame because he's in really good condition, but all of his limbs are going to get chopped off to become something else. So
I mean,
sorry,
you really should have asked me.
Well, I know you've got hundreds of them.
I have quite the spares pile of modular.
Well, if you have any spares, just
we'll sort it out. Don't I know you wouldn't, but don't throw away or dispose of the gun. That's probably the most expensive part in that figure.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, lots of people end up with half of a gun.
Well,
so a complete gun is worth more probably than the rest of the figure.
But he was £15 from Big Kids Collectibles.
Big Kid Collectibles. Big up Big Kid Collectibles. Yeah, that's a good price. But the gun is the bit that is always missing, basically. So.
Okay.
I was going to do a little bit of a business talk. What was Colin saying? Talking to Sparky, who does work for yourself. He says he's just come out of a 5-year fixed mortgage deal, and the mortgage on £800 per month. Gone up £800 a month, dude. It's absolute savagery. And as someone much smarter than me said, if what is happening to people's mortgages happened to everyone on the same day, you would potentially have rioting in the streets. But because it's just so staggered and spaced, it's like, this is happening. It's not happening to me, and then it is because it's happening over days, months, weeks, years, even. Because when different people's mortgages run out, but man, some of the pricing is it's brutal out there. And I guess the reason you mentioned that is to take it back to there is a reason that people are cancelling pre-orders, and it's not just because they're sick of toys; it's because money ain't as abundant as it was. So, but yeah, bit of a moody one. Let's get off that topic because it is a bit miserable. Adam, what line of figures is Ollie currently collecting?
Well,
And have
for
you
my
thought of starting anything new?
well, for my sins, I really like this line, which was the Super 7 Ninja Turtles.
What's wrong with you?
But like, I don't know if you've seen, but I am assuming they've had pressure from Playmates or something like that, and they can't do these designs anymore, so they're kind of doing their own versions, and I'm kind of out of that now, I think. And then now I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, do I want them? Because I've got all the Playmates of the same ones. Do I want them? I do love them. I think these look awesome. And I'm not a guy for articulation. That doesn't really bother me. They just look cool. But
they're cool with Turtles. The weird thing to me, like I sort of started saying earlier on, but stopped myself. But I'm going to say it. I've humiliated myself plenty, so it doesn't matter. Like when it comes,
that is awesome.
That's genuinely brilliant. That's like the colors pop, the metallics. Like, yeah, that's brilliant. That's great.
Yeah.
So that kind of, what I was going to say is, all these new versions of retro figures coming out, it kind of puts me off even the originals. And it is gatekeepery. It is a little bit elitist. And, I understand that, and I try and not be like that. But there is something. I think there's something I like about like let it be. Turtles is a different thing because there's always been different variations of Turtles. I'm not sure I'm in love with the fact that they're remaking the original Playmate sculpts, but
it's just what they did with Master Universe Classics, isn't it? It's the same thing.
But it kind of to me, because you had Master Universe and then not in this order. 200X is a different thing because they're different sculpt. I'm fine with that. But then you got the classics, Origins, whatever. All of a sudden, the originals to me are like, they don't look very good anymore. And it's not because they've been out stylized. It's because they're just a better version of. So what I was going to say about the Turtles is, other than the original Playmates Turtles, that the one is that Ray? Is that what's the one you just showed me? Slash. Yeah. That's really cool because it's quite different. But the only Turtles I've ever seen that I was like, now we're talking, is NECA did a run of like the original Eastman kind of like.
Yeah, I've got them over there.
There you go, right. And they did that a black and white.
Those are still the best Turtle figures, I think, other than the original.
And I'm like, they are that different and they represent this period of time, specifically talking for Turtles, that like, I'm cool to add this new thing. But when like just more and more stuff keeps getting made in just slightly tweaked, I'm like, I don't care about it. And what's really sad is it makes me care less about the old version. I don't know why. Perhaps I should go and speak to someone. I don't know why that is, but it just puts it on. It's almost like it's done now. It's over now. It's back in the public zeitgeist now, therefore I'm not as interested. But that makes me like a real elitist so and so.
Well, hang on. Let me just grab one a second. Hang on,
please. I'm just gonna... How you doing, Andy? How are you doing? I guess you're trying to say fish finger, but I know you've had some beers, so yeah. Good Super 7 stuff. I mean, they make great figures, no doubt about that.
These are the bootleg ones.
Yes, that's what
and they are
so
good for bootlegs. I have the real RAF, but all the others have got a bootleg.
Yeah,
and they were like £35 for all of them. The problem is when you get them through the post, they've got a real horrible plastic, nasty smell in the box, and you can tell they're bootlegs because they don't have for some reason they have like a little like a waist articulation. The real ones, the bootleg ones, don't have them, and they're a little bit darker, but they look.
I think they look great.
And if you can get hold of them, get them because they are great for boot. Like the quality of them is amazing. Like even
less than a tenner a figure as well. Like
although you do get some jokers at cons trying to sell them for quite a bit of money.
Sure. I'm fully into it. Like I like that turtle sculpt, that kind of squished up, almost like a tortoise. But I like that. I think because it reminds me of the original cartoons when they all had red bandanas and just murdered people.
Yeah, but I think NECA have just announced they're doing a new version of original Turtles from one of the other artists that kind of were in the very early days of Mirage, but I'm probably not going to bother with those because I used to have the movie Turtles and the cartoon Turtles, and they've just off the shelf now. I can't even the problem is when you put a load of NECA on the shelf, it just all starts to kind of go bleh.
Dude, mate, literally So the conversation I had with the guys, if you'd have seen my room, various iterations of various rooms and displays I've had, I mean, I've sent you some pictures. It's like the impressive thing about my old toy collection was the pure volume of toys.
Yeah.
If I say impressive, like impressive, like who cares, right? But it was just this muddy smear of greens, greys, browns. We were talking about NECA, McFarlane, lots of horror toys, and it just blah, blah. And I cannot tell you how much more I enjoy.
Your collection looks really nice. Like,
well, if I put some actual lighting on it, it looks even better because like you got the glimmer dark and the colours and the mad balls and the bird like colours. It's a joyous place to be. Whereas before it like genuinely it was like miserable. It looked like a dusty closet smells. You know what I mean? It's like dank and you go, oh, it's just grim. Like
for me, it's more about curating it now. Like I don't have a collection like yours, but like less is more for me. And I'd rather, instead of having my whole shelves, what I used to do was just cram everything on there just because I bought it, I want it out there. So now I'm like, no, I'd rather have, instead of having, I don't know, say 30 figures on one shelf, I'd rather have 10. Just have them all on their own individually and just kind of.
You are preaching to the choir. Like I don't know if you can't really see it, but over there, I took everything off and I'm like, right, I've got a couple of things in the back and then like 1, 2, 3, 4 done. And as I'm buying new stuff, I'm like, I'll just move it over. And now I'm like, stop. I think I've got too much stuff here now already, even though I cut it down, dude. I've got like 30 tubs in my loft of stuff I've put away, which I'm gradually, coming to peace with selling. But like, yeah, I'd rather have 1 or 2. Like you're the same as me. If you buy 50 things and stick them on one shelf, I can't see any of it.
Exactly,
it's just a blob of plastic. Like, yeah,
it's like a lot of people have them just shoved in detolfs. And for me, if you have a detolf, that's the place where you just have 1 or 2 items in one.
Dude, in my front room, I've got 4 detolfs. 1, 2, and then 3, 4. Each of them has 4 spaces because they're detolfs. And in them, I keep my 1/6. So Hot Toys, Sideshow, Ashley Wood, whatever, 1/6 stuff. And at one point, I counted, and Hannah's are in there as well. At one point, there was over 100 Hot Toys in there, right? It's a lot of money, but again, you go, ugh, and get rid of some, pack some up, don't sell them, but save them and whatever, sell some, move around. And now it's like 4 maximum per thing, preferably 3.
I think 3, 2 at the back and 1 at the front. 2
and 1, or like then I've got one that's got a Big Daddy in it from BioShock, and one that's got like an Ed 209, which is the whole flip, or with the Grievous, which is the whole thing. But yeah,
is that the Sideshow Grievous that the arms just droop?
No, this one's solid, man. But yes, that is the Sideshow. Yeah, but before, man, I've had like 16 figures in, especially if they've not got bases. Ashley Wood, and it just. It's not, again, when I do a room tour, I'll film.
It's weird how like I found it quite like it just made me really anxious to see it all.
Yeah.
And like it's like those things, that saying like the things that you own you.
Dude,
the
man,
less you
on a WhatsApp group? Me and the guys been talking about it. It's like, honestly, like we've all gone full Fight Club. That you end up the anxiety you have, but also. And again, a very cliche, cheesy thing to say, but like busy, hectic can mean busy, hectic. Like
totally.
Tidy, it can be a lot of stuff, but everything has a place. So it's like it's settled, not just cram it all in. Dude, I had stuff spilling on the floor. Like I had things that like, oh, I guess it just goes on the floor. I'll just display it on the floor. Oh man, I can't live like that. Like, yeah.
See, my issue at the moment is my collection is in the space I work in, so I've got stuff everywhere, and it's driving me nuts. So I'm having to, I don't know, maybe get a space to work in. But
as is mine, but we do very different things for a living. So
yeah, mine requires me to have a lot of rubbish and crap everywhere, which is.
Mine requires me to be an Excel spreadsheet wizard, and that's it. Remember, I don't collect turtles. No,
that's
true.
Very true.
The Thundercats they've done, yeah.
But someone did ask what I'm collecting now. Well, I'm pretty much done with Toxic Crusaders, apart from the helicopter, I think.
Yep.
I've just got to fix up the hovercraft that you
yeah.
thankfully gifted me. But I'd like to complete Earthworm Jim. I think maybe.
Okay.
I need Pete the puppy. I need the spacesuit. Not the spacesuit, but the swimming gym, which I did have at one point and sold at a boot fair, which was stupid.
What frustrates me is I've had all of these 10 times over when no one cared, and I got rid of them all. But I'll keep an eye. I think I gave Andy a Peter puppy. I'll find them for you, mate. I'll find them. Paul, since the retro Indiana Jones figures to sell, that's just the thing, right? It feels so petty and childish, but like it doesn't feel special. But it doesn't feel special to have it anymore. Like, as much as I'm going, there's no bad taste merchandise, I'm also glad there's no bad taste merchandise, because
one, it saves you having to buy it and waste your money.
Well,
and also
back in the day, I am a huge Evil Dead 2 fan. Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2. Okay,
I'm with you.
Back in the day, mate, I had it all. I had everything they made. Evil Dead 2 I owned, and I mean that very, very literally. Everything they made I owned. And then you get to a point where you're like, well, not only can I not keep up with the quantity that's being pumped out, I don't want it. I don't mean like t-shirts, I mean figures and that sort of stuff. So I've basically sold almost all of it. I've still got the Mezco 112 figure, which could probably go, and I've got the Slashy Ashy hand puppet, which I think
I think like with anything, when they overdo it, it's like this, in my opinion, sorry anybody, but there's been far too many Star Wars films and all the TV shows. I don't care about them, and it kind of makes it feel less special. I know that's a bit gatekeepy, I don't know, but it's the same when you talk about all the Evil Dead toys. Once there's so many of them, it stops being special anymore. And it just
being a Red Letter Media fan, as I know you are, I share the concern that they do, that they're just going to make an Evil Dead film a year now, and I'm going to go, it's just like Saw. Rubbish. But
I mean, I haven't seen the new one, so I don't.
I've not seen the new one. I'll watch it at some point, but
the new.
Well, yeah, I still call the one the new one. That's 2013. I say 10 years old. The new one from 10 years ago.
I did like that though. I thought it was good.
I thought it was a really good film. I didn't think it was an Evil Dead film. I thought it was a really good horror, gory, whatever film. Evil Dead film has to have two things for me: a little bit of comedy, and the protagonist has to never get scared, just angry. That's Ash's main thing. Is he's too stupid to be scared.
Yeah. Although he wasn't that bad in the first one. It's the second one where the.
But when people talk about Evil Dead, what they mean is Evil Dead 2. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. True.
Muckman from Super 7. Yeah, dude, the Muckman and the Mutagen Man. There's some great figures, but again, they scaled them up though, didn't they? They're like bigger. But
this one's great.
Leatherhead. That's cool.
But again, I don't know why they bother with articulation in the legs, because you can only pose in one way.
Exactly. Yeah. That's cool. I love his little fish.
But I mean, look at this shot. Look how loose that is.
Well,
and don't get me started on the Samurai Leo. That guy, what a horrible figure. I got it, and my one test when I made this figure was when I pick it up, does he wobble around? And he's solid.
Yeah, that's what we want.
This Leonardo Samurai one, you pick him up and he just Leatherhead's gone on the floor. he just jangles, and it's like he can't even stand up properly. He's kind of slumped. So he's being removed from the shelf as I'm looking at him now.
He's lost shelf privileges.
Yeah.
Super 7 Small Joe's 22 Canadian. Yeah, that's G.I. Joe stuff's really expensive when it comes out, and then on the secondary market, if it's not like an exclusive, like pennies. It's weird. Let's smash through these and we can let everyone go to bed. I thought I was only going to do half an hour. Thank you for joining me, Ollie. It's been very pleasurable.
All right. I couldn't leave you on your own. I was like,
I could have done it. I would have pulled.
You were doing fine with that. Me probably had people tuning out as soon as I turned up.
I'd have pulled some more boring stories out of it. Most of the collectors have way too much of collection. Need to Yep. Everyone's a bit of a hoarder at some point, isn't it? At some point, Paul's birthday tomorrow. Every year I ask for a figure or toy, and I never get any. As my family hate it. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not sure your family hate it. I just think they probably think you don't need any more, mate. You have thousands. But yeah, happy birthday for tomorrow, and I will. And I will speak to you soon, man.
Goodbye.
Speak to you soon. Yeah, happy birthday to Paul. Let us, Joe Remix. Ooh, where are we at? Where are we at? What's your thoughts on new Seth Rogen turtle designs?
I love them.
Yeah?
Honestly, I think they look great. I do. Although Rocksteady looks a bit odd, but I quite like them. But the problem is, I think with the toys, I don't know if you've seen them. All the toys are in the same scale, so the turtles are the same height as Bebop and Rocksteady. But I have a feeling in the film that they'll be a lot bigger.
They'll be bigger, yeah.
But they've just scaled them all down to fit the same blister card kind of.
I enjoyed Seamus's version personally, but
I thought they look pretty good, Bebop and Rocksteady in that film. It's just I hate the turtle designs in those films, but
I'm going to enjoy this comment from Seth Rollins. Please don't ban it because we're banning. Only because conversation about mental headspace. Maybe grow up. It's a very good point, but I also collect toys. But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. When I'm 65, I'll have much of a collection. Nah. I'll have thrown all my toys literally and metaphorically out of my pram by that point. Yeah, Steve, pleasure. I'll speak to you in the week. Let us look at this. All female. That is a whole different conversation. I would suggest. Let's end with
wrong
this.
with that. But...
Nothing wrong with that at all. If everything in your collection was £1 a figure, do you think that was much? Yeah. Yeah, I don't buy it because I buy it because previously probably not because I enjoyed saving up and buying things and trying to get whatever. Maybe I am guilty of having some things because like for the prestige of having it. But these days, no man, just the stuff that I like is what I like, regardless of cost.
I'd like to buy a lot for £1 just for customs and just kind of bashing stuff and because I use a lot of toys in my claymation, so I'll buy like toy vehicles that I kind of kit bash together.
You are the modern. You are the UK robot chicken, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I apologise that it was just me, but I take it back because Ollie saved the day by jumping on. Thank you very much, Ollie. Make sure you tune in next week. I think Ben from Talk Toy to Me is going to jump on next week, which is awesome because he's the nicest guy ever. And I was ill the last time he was on. So,
although I agree with you, it should be the way you originally thought it was meant to sound. Talk Toy Me. I think that sounds better.
Talk Toy Me would be better.
I think that's better, but
now, like I said before, I get to say to Ben, talk toys to me, which I'm looking forward to saying like consistently and throughout the entire cast. So yeah, excellent, guys. Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for sticking with us. And we'll speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Awkward wave while I press the end broadcast button.